A community in mourning on this Tuesday, March 26th. I'm Jasmine Anderson. An NYPD officer from Massapequa Park is dead, gunned down in the line of duty. Hundreds of police officers honored 31-year-old Officer Jonathan Diller last night. He was shot in the torso during a traffic stop in Far Rockaway. Diller, who was wearing his bullet-resistant vest, continued to try to disarm the suspect after being shot. His partner then shot the suspect. Officer Diller was rushed to the hospital but could not be saved.
Can I say it any clearer? It is the good guys against the bad guys. And these bad guys are violent. They carry guns. And the symbol of our public safety, which is that police uniform, they have a total disregard for.
Officer Diller leaves behind a wife and young child. The shooting suspect, who has not been named, was a passenger in the vehicle. He is in the hospital in unknown condition. The driver had a prior criminal record involving a weapons charge in the last year. Stay with Newsday as we continue to learn more about Officer Diller and the suspects. You can read the latest on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. 800 more NYPD officers will flood the subways. It's part of Operation Fair Play, an initiative aimed at cracking down on people who jump turnstiles or rush through exit gates. Officials say the fare beaters cost the MTA nearly $300 million a year. A warning if you're traveling to Baltimore today. We're watching a catastrophic scene unfold. The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed early this morning after a container ship rammed into it. Several vehicles fell into the river below. Rescuers are searching for at least 7 people in the water. Bayshore residents are calling for change in the light of the charges against a retired teacher accused of sexually abusing dozens of students. Virginia Huey has a story.
What happens tomorrow if my child comes home and tells me he was sexually abused by his 3rd or 5th grade teacher?
One by one, parents demanded answers and accountability from the Bayshore School Board following the arrest of Thomas Bernagozzi. The 75-year-old is accused of sexually abusing dozens of students between the ages of 4 and 12 during his 30-year tenure as a 3rd grade teacher in the district.
These mothers who are coming to you and saying to you, when are these policies and procedures going to be put in place so that no other child has to be afraid to go to school?
A Newsday investigation found the district kept Bernagozzi despite allegations spanning decades. The Bayshore School District is facing 45 Child Victims Act claims where Bernagozzi's former students said in separate lawsuits he sexually abused them and accused the district of failing to protect them. Bernagozzi has pled not guilty to the charges.
What has changed so that we can trust that someone in charge is telling somebody else and that's being investigated? We're still not getting answers.
The speakers are members of a group called Shine the Light in Bayshore. They wore black with teal ribbons as a show of solidarity with the victims. They're calling on the district to institute protocol for reporting allegations of sexual abuse. They also want a town hall meeting to address their concerns.
Our third and final ask of the district is that you address the survivors and their families in a way that shows compassion, empathy, and acknowledgement of their pain.
We're not going to be able to, do a Q&A, publicly because, as I just said, we're not going to be able to comment on anything related to the litigation.
The first trial in the 5 lawsuits is set to begin on April 2nd. Meantime, members of Shine the Light in Bayshore say they plan to keep up the pressure on the district for policy changes.
Take accountability for what happened back then. These people on the panel were children then too, right? So take accountability, say what was wrong, and show us why it can never happen again.
For Newsday TV, I'm Virginia Huey.
Virginia, thank you. Read more on our Newsday investigation into how the district kept Bernagozzi despite sexual abuse allegations on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Only in Newsday, the Suffolk DA is launching an investigation into the former Balone administration. District Attorney Ray Tierney says he's looking into allegations that members of former Suffolk executive Steve Ballone's staff destroyed and removed data belonging to the county. In a statement, the DA says his office has been asked to investigate whether such duplication or destruction was intentional or inadvertent, and whether criminal charges under computer tampering or trespass laws are appropriate, end quote. Reporters Mark Harrington and Sandra Petty have been working on this story.
We don't know specifically what District Attorney Ray Tierney is looking into, but we do know that Suffolk County Comptroller John Kennedy said that several employees, county employees, had come to him from different departments and alleged that emails were destroyed and county computer equipment was deactivated. He called it a misuse of government property.
Newsday has reached out to the former county executive, but we have not heard back. The DA wants anyone who might have information about these allegations to call the Public Corruption Bureau at 631-853-4626. Chicken chain Raising Cane's is hoping to open a restaurant at the former site of Chateau Briand Caterers in Carle Place. The Louisiana-based chain's plan needs approval from the town of North Hempstead. Now, last year, the chain announced plans to open 3 other stores on the island in Comac, East Meadow, and Hauppauge by 2025. Pizza with a Purpose, Port Washington teens are tackling food insecurity. 2 freshmen from Paul D. Schreiber High School are leading the charge now. They took over Port Pays It Forward from the 14-year-old twins at Carlos Pizza in 2020. Customers pay $3 so another person can get a free slice, or they can donate money.
We are giving the people who are in need a chance to get a free slice of pizza, where basically someone writes an inspirational quote on a Post-it and puts on the board. The person who needs that slice of pizza because they can't afford it or are having issues can then come later and grab it from the board and get a free slice of pizza.
Organizers say the program has provided over 4,000 meals to the community. Now to the rise of the Empress. A Lindenhurst boxer is back in the ring after facing the fight of her life. Jamie Stewart has part 2 of a story you'll see only in Newsday.
No training camp and no fight was harder and more challenging than transitioning into motherhood. Wow, it's beautiful. I love it.
As Alicia struggled with her postpartum anxiety, she said she sought help from her local church and hospital, but says being a vulnerable boxer wasn't easy.
Postpartum is very scary to talk about. It puts you in a very vulnerable place. It puts you in a place to be judged, to be looked at the wrong way. Entering the ring, Alina Rain Espinosa. Let's go. Come on.
Alicia says her postpartum anxiety lasted more than a year. She says the only time she really ever felt like herself was in the gym training and boxing. And now, for the first time in more than 3 years, she's getting ready to fight again. And so began Alicia's climb back for herself and her new #1 fan.
There's a boxer. Training 6 days a week. Monday mornings, I'm up at 3 a.m. I get on the road at 4 a.m. I get to Brooklyn, I start training at 5 a.m. I'm back on the road at 7. I'm back home at 8 a.m. I get breakfast ready for myself, my husband, and my daughter.
Her fight is in Philadelphia, but her opponent won't just be in the opposing corner, rather society as a whole.
Can I do it? Can I prove to women out there, whatever they're facing, like, your life is not over? My mind is better. I'm stronger physically, spiritually, like, I'm ready for the next level. I'm ready to come back. I have unfinished business in this sport.
Alicia is scheduled to fight again Thursday night. Good luck to you, Alicia. You can do it. Read more about her on Newsday.com. Just click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Newsday Sports is brought to you by King O'Rourke Automotive Group.
Down the stretch they come. The Knicks are making a playoff push. Barbara Barker has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
It was all Dante DiVincenzo at Madison Square Garden Monday night as the Knicks came up with an unexpectedly exciting game against the worst team in the NBA, the Detroit Pistons. DiVincenzo set a team record for single-game three-pointers by having 11. He got the 11th with a little more than 3 minutes left. The entire team knew he was going for the record and kept feeding him the ball, but he had missed 3 in a row. Finally, when he got it, he passed Evan Fournier, who happened to also be playing for the Pistons and was guarding him part of the time. It was a big win for the Knicks, even though, the Pistons are not a very good team. The Knicks remain a half game behind Cleveland, who's in 3rd place, which is pretty impressive because the Knicks have been without 3 starters for a good chunk of that stretch, and now the starters appear ready to come back. Mitchell Robinson got a really good report today. He probably should be the first person back. So the Knicks got to be feeling pretty good about where they are heading into the home stretch. This is Barbara Barker reporting from Newsday.
Thanks, Barbara. Read more about the Knicks on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Checking out your hyper-local forecast, mostly cloudy today, highs around 45 degrees. Tomorrow, more cloud cover. We're in the upper 50s. And here's a look at your futurecast. Expect heavy rain overnight tomorrow. It continues through Thursday. Looking at your 7-day forecast now, you can see that rain, but as of right now, Easter weekend looks pretty good. And you see on Good Friday, that's when we see a significant change with sunshine and warmer temps. That's your forecast.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Home Tax Saver, PTRC Incorporated.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in a moment.